Let's get started with our top story on the buck stops here this evening. Startling and controversial revelations and allegations made in news magazine Caravan, which has quoted Swami Aseemanand, who is of course in jail, as saying that RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat, who was General Secretary at the time that Swami Aseemanand met him, was in the loop on various terror attacks, including the Samjhauta Express attack that left 68 people killed. These are the main points of that startling story. Swami Aseemanand has now brought RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat right into the center of the terror debate. According to the Caravan article, Aseemanand says that Mohan Bhagwat knew about different terror plots, that there was a meeting where it was discussed that Muslim institutions and Muslims in general would be made the target to allegedly avenge for the attacks on Hindus. The Caravan magazine says that his journalist interviewed Swami Aseemanand inside jail 4 different times, and the interview was conducted with his consent. Now remember, the NIA, the National Investigative Agency, has charge-sheeted Aseemanand in a series of different terror cases. This includes the Samjhauta terror attack, it includes the Makkah Masjid attack, it also includes the Ajmer blast. All of these are terror cases where initially you had hardcore terror groups like the Lashkar-e-Taiba or the Harkatul-Mujahideen blamed, but later the NIA changed its mind and said that right-wing terror groups were involved. But it is important to note that none of the NIA charge sheets actually name any RSS leader as an accused. The RSS has rubbished the allegations made in Caravan magazine. It's called it a UPA conspiracy for political gains, questioning the timing coming just 2 months before the general elections. On the buck stops here today, we'll be asking whether right-wing terror, saffron terror as it's called, is a myth or a reality. Are the charges made in the Caravan magazine substantive or are they slanderous? And more importantly, the truth about these terror attacks as our investigative agencies continue to flip-flop. Will this truth be buried by politics? But first, let's bring you a response from RSS leader Indresh Kumar. He was questioned by the CBI once. He is listed in the NIA charge sheet filed in 2013 as being one of those who met with Swami Aseemanand in 2005.
कहीं ना कहीं इस षड्यंत्र में गृह मंत्रालय, NIA के कुछ अफसर, जेल अथॉरिटी और दुर्भाग्य से पत्रकार जगत में भी जो कुछ ऐसी गंदी मछलियां हैं वो शरीक हैं और उन्होंने इस कहानी को चलाया है। और इसलिए इन सब एजेंसियों के खिलाफ और नेता और गृह मंत्री के खिलाफ जब कानून सबके लिए साझा है और न्याय सबके लिए साझा है तो इनके ऊपर तुरंत इस फ्रॉड के और अपराध के मुकदमे दायर किए जाने चाहिए।
All right, let's get started with our political debate on the buck stops here this evening. We're asking whether the charges against the RSS, where Mohan Bhagwat is alleged to have been in the loop about various terror plots, are these charges substantive or are they simply slanderous? What is the truth about saffron terror or right-wing terror as it's called? Let's introduce our panel. From the BJP, we're joined by senior leader Prakash Javrekar. From Mumbai today, we're joined by MN Singh, former Joint Commissioner of Police in the city. We're also joined by Vinod Jose, the editor of Caravan magazine, which has published, of course, this article and created a political storm. And in a moment from now, Abhishek Singhvi of the Congress will also be joining us. Vinod, let me start with you. A number of questions have been raised by the RSS, by the BJP, as to the legality of the interview that has been conducted. RSS leader Ram Madhav, talking to me earlier, and we'll be playing out that interview later, said, how did a reporter get inside jail? How was a mobile phone allowed to be taken inside? How was this recording made? Aseemanand's lawyer too has described this interview as inauthentic. How do you respond to these questions?
See, first let me put some of the facts straight. This is the fruit of 2 years of investigation, which one aspect of which was 4 interviews that we carried out inside Ambala Central Jail with the consent of Swami Aseemanand. So this is not a sting operation, this is not entrapment, this is good old-fashioned, meticulous, meritorious, patient investigative journalism. And Swami Aseemanand, over the course of 2 years, felt that he probably had to share a lot more details of the blast and the charges against him. And remember, all these cases have been investigated not just by one agency, but 4 or 5 agencies. There is CBI, NIA, Maharashtra ATS, Rajasthan ATS and Haryana ATS at different points in time, and the cases got some way stopped at Aseemanand.
Yes.
So our natural editorial curiosity at some point, as it works in any journalism newsrooms 2 years ago, was that, is there something more to it? And should we probably tell the story of the person who is in charge and is lodged in the jail?
May I ask you, Vinod, before I open it up for the panel, that you say is good old-fashioned investigative journalism. This is not entrapment. It wasn't a hidden camera. Why would Swami Aseemanand actually turn against his own larger Sangh Parivar?
I mean, that's a question that probably we should pose to Aseemanand. I think perhaps Aseemanand, there is also an art with a good interview is also to gain confidence of the source of, in this case, Aseemanand. And as you know, there's a brilliant book on journalism ethics called Journalists, Murderers and Seducers and all that. We haven't done any of those, but it is a fact that perhaps with the interviewer, the brilliant journalist that Caravan has put on the story, she managed to strike a chord with Swami Aseemanand, and Swami Aseemanand started revealing facts. And by the third interview, that's when Mohan Bhagwat's name was dropped, and she came and reported to me that there is some serious allegations that is coming up. Okay. I sent her back again for a 4th interview. I told her, let's not get excited by this. We do not, as Caravan, believe in sensational journalism. And I sent her back to the jail for a 4th interview, and the 4th interview also Aseemanand repeated the same thing. Okay. And then this is a very genuine case of Swami Aseemanand feeling at that point that probably this story needs to be told. And also the lawyers who are coming right now to defend Aseemanand's story and to attack Caravan journalism, I want to put one fact out there, that Swami Aseemanand has been accused in 5 different terror cases in 5 different states, and over 20 lawyers are representing him. All of them RSS-affiliated lawyers organizations. So I don't know who is right now speaking and who has come out. So, but what I just want to put out a record finally is that this is done with full consent of Aseemanand.
Okay, very interesting details there. Prakash Javadekar and Abhishek Singhvi, let me get you in now. Prakash Javadekar, can the BJP in an automatic sort of way rubbish the allegations that have been made in Caravan? You've heard the editor. He says it was a painstaking process. He says it was not a hidden camera. It was not a hidden tape recorder. That maybe as journalists do, you create a kind of empathy with the person you're interviewing or you're trying to get information out of. That person confides in you. It's a very detailed profile. It was done over 4 different meetings over 2 years. Mr. Javadekar, on what basis can the BJP not even want an inquiry into these allegations?
Actually, Vinod's statement and clarification makes the case very clear that why we rubbished it. We were right in rubbishing it.
How?
It's because I'll tell you, I'll come to that. First, that the law has very clear provisions as to what is the legal value of somebody who is accused. Second, he has not answered your question that how he can take without permission the recording device and how he can record without permission within the jail and come out with it without informing the police there.
But Mr. Javadekar, that's a procedural argument.
So,
Sir,
no, but I'm coming to that one by one.
That's a technical argument.
But that is what.
But that doesn't deal with the content of the interview.
I'm telling you, it is the RSS credibility is much bigger than what they want to project. It is a good idea to publicize the magazine, but bad idea to defame RSS. The issue here is that the timing, what Ram Madhavji said, is very essential because Congress with its dirty tricks department is known for all these things during the election. Now what we are witnessing is, one minute, last sentence. The ATS in Samjhota Express, the same NIA has arrested Nagori, has taken their all test, polygraph and everything, and they said that confirmed. Now they have gone again completely U-turn. Now I don't know whether there is yet another U-turn to be made.
Point is a fair point, and we will explore that with MN Singh in a minute, but I'm going to let Abhishek Singhvi come in. Abhishek Singhvi, this is an important point. The important point being made that if an investigative agency with as much confidence first names the Lashkar-e-Taiba in a bomb blast, and then with as much confidence names Swami Aseemanand, does Prakash Javadekar have a point in saying that we don't actually know what the truth is?
He doesn't. And let me step back from it and just tell you a few points. First and foremost, nobody is suggesting that this is a conviction. The Caravan magazine is known for having done a series of articles. They take painstaking time over 3 to 4 months, and they use the language of studied moderation. It has been their style for many, many issues about persons, events, etc. Now here, if even a tenth of what is written here, Barkha, is true, it is extremely serious. We know for a while in this country that not only does this give some bad name to the great religion of Hinduism, which is the most inclusive and tolerant of all religions, but it also then breeds the other kind of fundamentalism and terrorism. Now these allegations are so serious in that they talk of dates, events, when Aseemanand was instructed in what manner by Mohan Bhagwat or Mr. Sudarshan, the conversations he had with Mr. Modi, and here is in writing something which at the minimum requires a very detailed investigation. Nobody can suggest that the Caravan has any axe to grind. They've been doing these exposés for many, many years.
But
nobody can suggest that they are an arm or organ of the Congress.
Is Aseemanand a reliable voice because he has originally also confessed and retracted his confession?
Nobody is suggesting that Aseemanand is gospel truth. What one is saying is that these are allegations of a person who is making them over a long period of time in detailed recorded conversations, not retracting it, and these are at the minimum so serious as to require an in-depth investigation to which the BJP, RSS and all the other members of the Parivar must submit. And I must add here, however much Mr. Javadekar might dislike to hear it, no less than a person as Sardar Patel has said that it came within a whisker's breadth for a direct implication in Mahatma Gandhi's assassination. Only difference was that Godse was a member of Hindu Mahasabha and no more membership could be proved. And it is for reasons of lack of proof of actual assassination complicity that the proscribing order was passed against the RSS by no less a person than Sardar Patel. So this is something which should shock. And let me tell you one last sentence, Barkha. In this country we always say terrorism by any color, any name, any ism, any ideology is horrible. But then we have to be honest enough to recognize that these other forms of terrorism breed the other kind of terrorism about which the BJP speaks so loudly. And they should in fact be very ready to have it inquired into and stopped at the threshold.
I think what worries a lot of people, and I know Prakash Javadekar, you have your hand up, but give me a second. I want to bring MN Singh in. MN Singh, what worries a lot of people is that in an election year, terror and the debate around it tends to get politicized. That said, whether you look at the Caravan magazine article or whether you look at the NIA's own chart sheets, and they filed 3 chart sheets. Let's look at the 3rd chart sheet submitted by the NIA on June 12, 2013, Mr. MN Singh. This too talks about a meeting that took place in October 2005 in Jaipur, which was attended by Lokesh Sharma, Sunil Joshi, Ramji Kalsangre, Pragya Singh and RSS leader Indresh Kumar. So in many ways, the NIA's chart sheet is also talking about meetings that are taking place where, to quote the chart sheet, the status and plight of Hindus and regular attack on Hindus by jihadi Muslims, etc. were discussed. A discussion also took place on the need to do something to stop it. Now, if you see this NIA chart sheet coupled with the Caravan magazine, do you believe that we are spotting a pattern that we cannot ignore? That RSS leaders have been meeting with Aseemanand, have been meeting each other to talk about possible retaliatory attacks?
Well, Barkha, I do not want to comment on the RSS. Yes, Barkha, I do not want to comment on this RSS or other this political or religious factors. But I will only address this question of the veracity of this this interview. You know, notwithstanding the explanation given by the editor of this magazine, I seriously doubt the veracity and the genuineness of this interview.
On what basis?
Simple reason.
On what basis?
I will tell you, for the simple reason that the prison rules do not permit a prisoner giving any such press interviews. And in this case, Aseemanand is a security prisoner and is in the court's custody, and therefore unless even the court grants the permission, nobody can go and interview a prisoner inside the jail. And in this case, now the editor says that he had the consent of Aseemanand. It is not for Aseemanand to grant a press interview for himself. It is just not possible that this press people can walk inside the prison, a security prison, with a camera and recording machinery and all that, and go and record the interviews. Not once, but so many times. I seriously doubt the bona fides and the genuineness of this. Now,
so you are
whether the RSS is involved or not involved, I do not want to comment on that. That is for others to comment.
Mr. Hemant Singh, briefly, very in one line, are you saying this whole interview is a fabrication of Caravan magazine? It is somebody else's voice. It is somebody else's voice on the audio tapes. Isn't that a very far-fetched thing to say?
Well, Barkha, that audio tape can be doctored very easily, and you have so many examples of these tapes being doctored.
Let me bring in Vinod. I think we must bring in Vinod.
Let me repeat. It is not for Aseemanand to grant an interview to himself with a media personnel. It is the government authorities. And in this case, the judiciary, the judge has to grant the permission. Otherwise, nobody can reach Aseemanand.
Abhishek, 1 minute. Abhishek Sanghvi, 1 minute, because Vinod must have the right to respond to this. It is a direct comment on his magazine.
I think, Mr. Singh and anyone who is sort of still under the shock that the interview took place should get over the shock, I must say.
Let me tell you, I happen to be, listen to me, gentlemen. I happen to be the chief of the Maharashtra Prison Department, and I have run the prison administration. I know it from my personal experience.
Mr. Singh.
I am not speaking out of the cup.
Mr. Singh, he must have a right to respond. Vinod, please. Vinod, go ahead.
Mr. Singh, you must have run a prison, but journalists' mandate for people, readers, audience, is to get to the bottom of truth. And we go to whistleblowers, we cultivate sources, we do painstaking effort to get to the bottom of truth. And as I'm just repeating again, this is not a sting operation, nor an entrapment.
Vinod, do you want to respond to the criticism? Vinod, do you want to respond to the criticism?
It's a falsification.
Okay, Abhishek and Prakash both have their hands up. But Vinod, do you want to quickly respond to the criticism that rules did not allow your reporter to go inside jail? Is it correct that she went in as a lawyer?
See, there is clearly a permission that has been given to us.
Yes.
As far as we are concerned, we never lied on our identity.
Yes.
Our identity, when case was presented to Aseemanand in the jail, when our journalist first met Aseemanand,
yes.
it was at the court at Ampala, and our journalist asked him, see, I'm a Caravan journalist, and can I tell you a story? I want to interview and tell you a story to the people.
Yes.
And Aseemanand said, of course, you can come and meet me at the jail. And with the permission of him, the interviews have taken place, 4 interviews over a course of 2 years. And also, let me also tell you, we are again just getting caught up with the procedural aspects.
Yes.
This is also a classic defense of anyone who the journalists go and get to the bottom of truth. You know, they corner journalists and media with the procedural thing. I hope everyone discuss the message, and in this case, the investigative agencies will have to relook at the fact, probably take hold of the Caravan tapes and all that we have, and do a further investigation and reveal much more, which I am sure is hidden in this case now.
Okay, Abhishek Singhvi and Prakash Javadekar. Abhishek Singhvi, to you first. As a senior lawyer, do you think Hemant Singh has a point? But I also take Vinod's point that we can't keep debating the procedure of how this interview was obtained.
Barkha, it's a classic style and technique to start shooting the messenger to try to deflect from the message. I find it highly regrettable that Mr. Hemant Singh has allowed his professional objectivity to be clouded by the fact that he has joined a political party recently. That is highly regrettable, because he has gone to the extent of saying on this program that this tape is doctored, a highly speculative comment to be made by a police officer with such long years of service. Let me give you a simple point. The substance is this a doctored tape? Let us have it tested in 2 weeks for the CFSL. Mr. Vinod can be proved wrong, Mr. Hemant Singh can be proved wrong.
That's a fair...
I don't think any journalist worth his salt will publish after 2 years. Obviously 2 years doesn't mean he is interested in sensationalism. Something which will destroy his credibility and the magazine's credibility, put it up for checking, and he would have fabricated a tape like this. I mean, before you say something like this, even common sense tells you that if a man is prepared to take it to the public domain and publish it, then he would not have fabricated it. But certainly, at the most, Mr. Singh could have said that this should be tested. But to suggest in one voice with the BJP, which he seems to have joined a few weeks ago, that he gives it a certificate of invalidity and inauthenticity is ridiculous.
And Singh, please come in there.
If this has taken 2 years, secondly, 1 minute, if this has taken 2 years of taping, the dates would be there, the entry in the jail will be there. Let me tell you, nobody goes to jail and does this kind of interview by telling them that I'm going to publish a newspaper. Obviously, there will be some misrepresentation. There will be something about a story. But that is valid journalistic source story. And no journalist gives up that degree of his source. But that is a far cry from saying, Barkha, that if you have a story like that and you don't give up your source, it's a far cry from saying that you've doctored the tapes.